Well, hello xenographers everywhere and welcome to another episode. Today we're going to find out which of these two lenses works best for portraits. The Zeiss Sonar derived Jupiter 9 85mm f2 or the Zeiss Biotar derived Helios 40 85mm f1.5. I haven't had the Jupiter 9 for long, but I like it a lot. It's a well-made, chunky sort of a lens that traces its roots back to the Zeiss Sonar of the 1930s. It's a little bit soft, a good quality in a portrait lens, and it does beautiful things with colour and with black and white. To say that the Helios 40 is well made is an understatement. It's built like a piece of military hardware, and it traces its roots back to the Zeiss Biotar, again of the 1930s. It's even softer than the Jupiter, it makes wildly saturated colour images, and its very swirly background blur is loved by many portrait photographers. Both these lenses are old, technically imperfect designs, so they both have a very distinct signature look, and they'll both make some very beautiful images. But which is nicer? Without further ado, let's find out. Large apertures and longish focal lengths make both these lenses ideal for portraits. The Jupiter's a low contrast lens, just like its little brother the Jupiter 8, and it makes some lovely portraits with a soft and gentle feel. Colours from this lens are similarly soft, even muted. This lens certainly won't oversaturate colours, but at the same time its colours do retain a vibrancy and a pop all of their own. Black and white images from this lens have, to my eye at least, a rather special quality. They're punchy and strong with good tonal range, but delicate too, with a look that reminds me of old 1930s movies. On an absolute scale, it's not especially sharp, but that's said to be a good quality in a portrait lens. In any case, shooting wide open, it's perfectly acceptable, and it's able to resolve quite a lot of fine detail. This lens does have a tendency to wash out and to suddenly lose contrast if light should cross it at the wrong angle, and as well as lowering contrast in the image, it makes focus peaking difficult to use, and I did lose a couple of shots as a result. I did get some very nice shots as well though, and if you shoot wide open, as I did for most of these shots, the character of that sonar background blur is just beautiful. Soft, dreamy and creamy, gentle and delicate, a great big wash of blur that really separates the subject from the background and focuses attention on them. And because it's a fairly long, wide aperture lens, you'll still get separation even if the subject's close to the background. This lens makes images that are very soft, very gentle and very delicate. They're not in-your-face images, they're not images that are particularly bold. Instead, they have a restrained delicacy, a softness and a gentleness, almost a watercolour type quality. And I think it makes some very nice images indeed. I was very pleased with the shots I got with this lens. The Helios 40 has a very different character to the Jupiter, and it makes images with a very different look. The first thing that strikes you is what it does with colour. There's clearly a lot more saturation in these images, and colours seem richer and fuller, stronger and more vibrant. They just leap out at you and there's absolutely no avoiding them. Not that I'd want to either. I love the colours from this lens. They're bright and audacious, exuberant and full of joy, and they help to make what seem to me to be some quite special images. It makes nice black and white images too, with plenty of punch and a broad tonal range. Like the Jupiter, This one's not a particularly sharp lens. Wide open, it's acceptably sharp in the centre and resolves plenty of detail, but move even a small distance from the centre and it very quickly becomes much softer. This is great for portraits though, because it helps to soften up the shot and to focus attention on the subject. This lens has beautiful background blur with a very distinctive look. It can be a bit jittery, but on the whole, and especially at portrait distances, it's very soft, very gentle and very lovely, aiding composition and focusing attention on the subject. Point light sources in the frame give a very pronounced swirl effect, which not everybody likes. I must admit though, I think it's a fantastic look. I regard this as an art lens rather than a straightforward photography lens, such as the distinctive sparkle of its images, such as its unique ability to render the mundane beautiful and to add a very special sparkle to anything it touches. So, two worthy contenders, both highly capable, both with very different characters. One makes images in what we might call the realist style, a faithful representation of reality, whatever that is, soft and cool, reserved and restrained, an Émile Zola of a lens, showing us the world as it is and thereby creating something beautiful. But if the Jupiter 9 is Émile Zola, the Helios 40 is Salvador Dali. It adds to and augments reality, giving us exaggerated, almost surreal images, bursting with sparkle and colour. So which is the best lens for portraits? Well, it depends, of course, on the kind of image you want to make. But for myself, while the Jupiter is very competent, it has to be the Helios. It's a special lens with a very unique look, and no other lens I know can make the kind of portraits and images in general that this one can. At around £270 as against the Jupiter's £120, it's the more expensive option, but in my opinion it's most definitely worth it. So that's it from me for now. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and ring the bell before you go. And if you like this channel and you'd like to support it, you can now do so at patreon.com/zenography. As ever, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time for some more Zenography.